the middle of the night when she grasps my hand. Is it the 27th, 28th, or 29th day? She's signaling to me that she's pregnant. I try not to get excited. I've been down this road before. I exhort myself to think about something else. How many times has a period come and gone when pregnancy was a foregone conclusion? Her hand is still in my hand. This tenderness is an anticipation of a new dependence. Isn't it true that 30 days have passed? Why hesitate? Enjoy the fact of pregnancy. Earlier today, in an apple orchard, on a pick-your-own outing, she asked me if there are 30 or 31 days in September. This means that it's on her mind, too. But we don't speak about our hopes directly and frankly. After months of this game, optimism seems to breed bad luck. Today, I bring as much bad karma as I can to the topic. I talk about how I'm not sure I want a child. I point out every fat, awkward, and unhappy kid wandering the orchard with their fat, awkward, and unhappy parents in tow. How could we bear to be parents of such an offspring? 31, even 32 days. I must stop this mental arithmetic. 33 days. It's 7 a.m. The alarm goes off. Julia says she has a terrible headache. Yes, I say, with a labored matter-of-factness, with not a hint of disappointment in my voice. You must be having your period. There's something wrong with my dick.
There's nothing wrong with that dick.
Yes, there is. The sperm count was low, borderline non-existent. What little sperm there was has subpar motility.
The test results were flawed.
Half are missing a tail.
Your dick wasn't even erect.
Some even swim backwards.
We had intercourse the night before. You're supposed to wait 48 hours before going in the cup.
There's something wrong with my dick.
It's a great dick. I'm happy with that dick. That dick is a lethal weapon.
That dick fires blanks.
Dr. Swan says you gotta make an appointment with a urologist. Do a repeat semen analysis. He suggests Dr. Brown. Here's her number.
Julia, I don't want to see a goddamn urologist. I don't want to repeat the test.
Why not? I know the first test was wrong.
And if it's right, look, I'd rather live with the inconclusiveness and not know I'm a member of the Dead Meat Society.
I have to undergo far more tests than you do, and many of them are painful.
Let's just leave it up to nature, okay, honey?
We tried that. I desperately need a child. At 40 years old, nature may need a little push.
And a man who isn't defective.
Even if your sperm count is low, and I know it's not low, Dr. Swan says there's a drug called Clomid that can help.
You'll hate me if I can't give you a child. You'll divorce me.
Here's a cup. Go try again. It's been 3 days since our last intercourse.
It's the fate of a great masturbator like me that I end up having to do it in a cup.
Come on, get it over with.
I'm psyching myself up. I'm looking at this cup and I'm thinking, it's not my grandmother's pussy. It's just a plastic cup. All I have to do is twist off the cap, breaking the seal. It's kept it sterile. I lie down on the floor and pull at my penis. I rev myself up by meditating upon the ladies who have populated my fantasy life. I wonder which phantom will get me excited enough to be able to explode into this little receptacle. I tip the cup towards my dick until I feel the grooves in the plastic rim. I pull some more at my penis, now big and swelling with ecstasy, just around the corner. At the highest point of pleasure, I send it streaming into the cup. I look down, bullseye. Oh, thank God. I get up and tuck the secretion into my armpit to keep it at body temperature. I rush my specimen to the lab. This shouldn't be too hard to do.
I'm really sure there's nothing wrong with that dick.
Oh.
At the same time, when it looks like it's him, not me, I'm glad. A woman who can't give a man a child. The Bible's got a lot to say about that. I've thought about getting some high-potency sperm from the Mensa Society, sperm count approaching the uncountable with dynamite mobility, sperm that'll make Olympic time up my vagina, a heat-seeking missile right to my egg, ambushes that reluctant egg so that it can't slip away, penetrates my resistant membrane no matter what the argument. Sometimes I think that even if his sperm turns out to be technically normal, it's probably anxious and tentative like Paul. It swims along okay until it gets to the deep end. Oh, God. I look tired and ugly. When we were first married, Paul would never let me say this about myself. He was quick to reassure me about my intoxicating and unchanging beauty. Now he seems to relish the power that my insecurity gives him. I miss the days of our early love.
I love you.
Do you like my new blouse?
Yes.
Well, what do you like about it?
Chic. It's very sexy.
How do you know? You're not even looking. You're just trying to shut me up.
It's very becoming.
Do you remember when you got me these earrings?
Of course.
Well, when?
Come on, Julia, cut out the interrogation.
You used to say what a beautiful voice I had, how you could never get enough of my conversation, even you said when I was complaining. Now you find your baseball scores more interesting than anything I have to say.
What is it you want?
Oh, to look at me with tenderness. To tell me that I've given you a life. You used to say that to me all the time.
I have other things on my mind, like the grim business of going into this cup. It's not the time for my undivided attention.
Well, isn't that what lovers are supposed to give each other? Do you want a divorce?
God, you're insecure.
Stop taking your pulse and play with my pussy. Of course I'm insecure. If I can't hold him with my beauty and wit, what can I hold him with? You know what worries me is maybe I'm psychologically blocking this pregnancy. You know, all my life my father told me never have children. He couldn't handle my brother's schizophrenia. The question I ask myself is whether or not I have somehow internalized this admonition.
So he said, I'm a Sagittarius. I said, I'm a Sagittarius too. He said that he was into parallel worlds. I said, I'm into parallel worlds too. Ha! Stop! Wah! I defined parallel worlds on my own many years ago. You have energy in space, active and magnetic, that has a special orientation. That energy is channeled through black holes. The energy goes through the black holes at alpha angles, and the energy is transformed. I've traveled to these parallel worlds by astral projection. My double, in other words, goes outside my body and travels to different dimensions and to the future. Once, I went to the Canary Islands in the year 2500. I was at the airport when a spaceship crash landed. I noticed a cart with drinks and sandwiches, and one of the bottles, a green liquid inside. And on it was written, good tasting, anti-cancer drink.
Is there a sentry guarding my egg to push away the intruder? Dr. Swan thinks this is ridiculous, but I'd rather think this than that my body is cold and aged. Every time I get my period, Paul looks at me compassionately and sweetly. Whenever he gives me that extra sweet look, I know he's hiding a particularly nasty and aggressive thought. He no longer feels gratitude for being in my arms. He says I smell bad from the lotions I put on before going to bed. Well, fuck him. These lotions keep my skin young. He thinks it's a cosmetic company con job. At least I don't scratch my cock and toes because of athlete's foot. He turns down the spray I bought him, which has a 100% cure rate. He seems to get some sensual pleasure from rubbing at his bugs. Wish he rubbed me the way he rubs his toes. I dye my hair once a week. If I pulled out all the gray hairs, I wouldn't have any hair left. Oh, but you love me, don't you, little Betty? Yes, you love me, my little fuzzball. Oh, let me brush your hair and get out all those fleas. Oh, you love me, don't you?
60 over 100. Your pressure's way up.
Yeah, well, if you get this damn thing off me, it'll go down. You know this always happens when I go to you doctors?
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, I'm afraid. Get your hands off my testicles!
Don't be such a baby. I'm not hurting you. This will all be over a lot faster if you just relax.
Huh? What are you looking for?
To see if you have a varicocele.
What's that?
It's when a vein inside the scrotum becomes engorged with blood.
Is it fatal?
Fatal.
Well, is it?
The varicocele is like a varicose vein. The accumulation of blood causes the temperature to rise and damages the sperm-making ability. It's corrected with a microsurgical procedure.
Inpatient or outpatient? Will you put me to sleep?
Why would I do that? Your testicles appear normal. Your prostate is nice and spongy.
Is that good or bad?
It's good.
Ah, I'm not dying.
Not urologically.
So where do I stand?
Well, I want to get some blood work done. Take this down to the lab.
Why?
The blood work will check for hormonal imbalances and an immunological condition in which a man produces antibodies that damage his own sperm.
What makes you suspicious that there's...
I'm not suspicious. I just want to rule it out. To reassure myself and you that these things are not causing infertility.
So I'm infertile.
I didn't say that. But I'm treating an infertility problem in a couple. After you've had your blood work done, please do a repeat semen analysis. Here's a cup. Keep it under your armpit on the way up to the lab and get there within an hour of ejaculation. Send this out to your insurance company.
This says diagnosis infertility. I thought you said you needed further tests before making a diagnosis. This is a full-blown indictment, so it's over. How do I get out of here?
Paul, the insurance company needs a diagnosis in order to process your claim.
Yeah. Why not diagnosis, perhaps, infertility? I could live with that.
Paul, I have other patients. We'll talk again when we've had the test results. Call me in a couple of weeks.
It wasn't until I was 16 that I sought enlightenment. I wondered if there were any rules I had to follow in order to bring about this miracle. All one needed, said a classmate, was the right fantasy and a steady hand. When I finally succeeded, it was a landmark. Changed my life. Dr. Brown doesn't think there's anything wrong with my testicles.
Wonderful.
But she's doing a workup on my blood.
You're fine.
You're as full of shit with your optimism as my father. Honey, let's not get our hopes up again. Hoping makes me depressed.
Hope makes you depressed. Despair makes you depressed. Love-making even makes you depressed. You're always depressed.
With these doctors in our bedroom, who wouldn't be depressed?
Oh, so now it's the doctors who are ruining your mood.
What were those messages all about that you left on my answering machine at work today?
The ones about Betty or the ones about urology?
The ones about Betty. The first one you call up, you say you're taking her to the vets.
Right, so what?
You hung up. Then you called right back to say that it's nothing serious, that it's about the scratching.
Well, what's your problem with that?
The second message. Why did you leave the second message?
I thought the first message would depress you.
It was the second message that depressed me. You seem to think that a trip to the vets will break me. What did the vet say?
He gave her medicine to get rid of the mites in her ears, which is the reason why she's been scratching so much. He also gave her a blood test with feline leukemia.
He suspects leukemia from the scratching?
No, Paul. It's a standard test for all 2-month-olds. Betty's healthy. She's fine. Dr. Crest just wants to make sure there's no leukemia in her system before he gives her a vaccination.
I don't understand.
If it's in her system, the vaccine could trigger the disease.
Meow. Poor little Betty. I love you so much, little Betty.
So you see why I had to make the second call. I was always depressed, but imagine how depressed it would have been if I hadn't called back. He'd have imagined the very worst, which of course he did, but not so obsessively. I know him like I made him. He'd have thought, Betty's been run over by a car. Betty has to have a heart transplant. Betty has choked on a mouse. Betty is in fact already dead, and Julia's giving me this fiction about Betty being at the vets to prepare me for the dreadful blow.
Dr. Brown also said I have to undergo a repeat semen analysis.
We already know that.
Honey, I'm afraid I can't stand this.
Well, if you didn't have a wife, you wouldn't have to get up in the morning or go to work or make love. You wouldn't have to do any of those horrible things. You could stay in bed all day. You wouldn't have to hold me or caress me or Tell me you love me. You wouldn't have to try to get me pregnant. You could go back to being a smelly, unwashed bachelor, drinking beer and watching football with all the other closet cases. Oh, God.
Paul Jr., I couldn't bear a repeat of myself. Can you imagine 8 1/2 pounds coming into the world so lost he can't find the breast?
Dr. Swan, it's Julia. You would not believe the fuss that Paul is making about putting a little sperm into a cup. He was supposed to have had it to the lab a month and a half ago. So they procrastinate because they think their masculinity is on the line. My femininity is on the line, too. Yes, he understands that you're going to postpone further tests on me until his situation is clarified, but it just doesn't seem to be any incentive. Yeah, goodbye. Your father dropped by.
What was the occasion?
No occasion, just a chat. Your sister's pregnancy is going well. Your niece is relieved that William is going to be in the same daycare program with her.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, ever since Tina's learned how to use the phone, all she ever wants to do is call William. Is so cute.
Doesn't Dad have anything better to do than to come over here to brag about his grandchild?
Probably not.
Do I now have to listen to stories about some daycare stud named William? Isn't it enough that I have to endure a perfect niece like Tina?
40-year-old hands.
What?
Because we don't have children doesn't mean I can't enjoy stories about other people's children, not even other people's children, your sister's children.
Seems perfectly rational and sensible of you.
I remember last year how much you enjoyed reading Tina Goodnight Moon.
Won't you let me forget?
And when you finished reading it to her, you took her outside and you pointed to the moon and you said moon. And then she said moon. The first word she ever spoke was prompted by you.
Please.
I thought you adored your niece.
I adore my niece.
Well, then why can't I talk about it without you patronizing
You
me?
can talk about it forever. Just don't expect me to ooh and ah every time she gets over some goddamn developmental hurdle. There's something incestuous about it.
Incestuous.
Well, at least possessive or grabby.
Envy, isn't that the word?
I adore my niece. I love her. When my sister was going into labor, it was me they asked to drive into the hospital.
It was a great honor.
It was 3 in the morning. It was a pain in the ass.
But you drove them.
I quickly got dressed and picked them up. David helped Jane into my car so tenderly it made me feel tender, too.
That's not the only reason you felt tender. What was Jane's mood? Was she in pain?
David was doubled over with sympathetic cramps.
I bet you were, too.
I dropped him at the hospital and went back to bed. Half hour later, the phone rings. It was a false alarm. I went back to get them.
But what was Jane's mood? Tell me everything.
They were both aggravated. What do you think?
Yeah, but it must have been a special kind of aggravation, a tender aggravation, an aggravation of wonder and mystery.
The next call came at 7 a.m. This was it.
Did they invite you to stay and see the birth?
Oh, come on! Uncles only get so close. That part we never see.
Did Jane have a difficult labor?
Ask her.
Did David pace up and down?
I'm sure he lived up to all the cliches. Jane called to ask my advice on names. I suppose they wanted me to feel like a meaningful participant, not some sad sack bystander. It's really very nice of them, so 60s of them, that they wanted me to feel connected.
But I guess it didn't make you feel that way.
It was all a sham. They had no intention of listening to me. I hate the name Tina.
You're just mad at Tina because when she visits us, she rushes into my lap, not yours like she used to.
I'm sure she has other playthings, and it's a worsening picture.
You know, when David and Jane go off for a getaway, we can't leave Tina with us. I have these awful thoughts. I imagine their car has crashed. Tina's now our little girl. Of course, I do everything I can to keep the memory of her parents alive for her, but gradually we become the mom and dad that she cries out for in the night. And we don't correct her. The psychiatrist says it's better we don't correct. Tina gets married and she has a child. We're the grandparents.
One day, in the next couple of years, Tina's going to come to you and ask you ever so sweetly, how come you don't have children?
And I'll say, ask your Uncle Paul.
Oh, and I'll tell her about the stork and how it went down the wrong chimney.
Nobody using a stork metaphor these days.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to talk to her about gynecologists in your office.
You know, sometimes before I leave for work, I watch that famous video about the miracle of birth. I read Dr. Spock's baby book. I imagine what it'll be like to turn the guest room into a nursery. Isn't it silly? I even have a book called Our Baby's First Steps.
Gets to me when I'm stuck behind some school bus, and every couple of minutes it stops, and a little boy goes off and goes running up the road, and it stops again, and a little girl gets down and runs into her yard and is greeted by her dog.
It's agony.
It's still happening.
Only in a made-for-TV movie if we don't get on with these tests.
Did you see in the Enquirer about the 70-year-old woman who gave birth?
You believe in the virgin birth to get out of going in that cup.
No, no, baby was 8.5 pounds and completely healthy.
Oh, God bless.
Every time I see Peter at the pool, it's bad news.
Bad news?
And today was no exception.
What bad news?
Do you remember last fall? I'd gone for a swim to calm myself down because at that very hour my mother was having her potentially cancerous womb removed. And who do you think walks in to begin a swim? Peter walks in to begin a swim. And I told him the horrible news.
Don't be so dramatic. Your mother is fine.
Yeah, and then last January, after swimming, I went to the showers. Peter is there, and I said, how are you? And he said, my wife isn't well. He referred to Samantha, someone I've known longer than he has, as my wife.
So what?
It was really ominous, that's what. And I was right. He told me his wife wasn't well. There had been tests. There were more to come. It could be rheumatoid arthritis. It could be Flannery O'Connor's disease or even Lou Gehrig's disease. Samantha is my age. She was my classmate.
Well, that was also bad news. It turned out to be good news. Samantha is fine.
And then today, I bumped into Peter poolside again. I was rinsing my earplugs in the chlorinated water to get rid of the bacterial scuzz that
Told
had
you
built
get
up.
rid of those filthy earplugs ages ago.
I was afraid I was leaving myself wide open for ear disease.
I applaud you for having an almost realistic fear.
Yeah, well, the same moment I'm removing the scuzz, Peter is finishing his lap in the next lane. Hi, Paul, he said. I immediately felt a pang of envy because he was swimming in the medium lane and I'm about to dive into the slow.
I hope it didn't show.
Of course it didn't show.
So, tell me about Peter's supposed problem.
Yeah.
Let's have dinner.
And I'm thinking, for once, no bad news. He's telling me about how much he enjoyed our dinner party. And then, in the next breath, he says in that same cheerful voice, I have a tumor.
What?
What I said. A tumor, he said. I'm having a magnetic resonance on Friday.
Well, he's a young man. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's just what I said. You're a young man. You'll be fine.
You said something so hopeful. Wish I saw this side of your phone.
He showed me his lump.
So, what happened?
I looked at his lump.
Where was his lump?
It was on his thigh.
It was a big lump?
It was a very big lump. Then we shook hands and I mumbled something about if there's anything I could do and I jumped right into the water. Usually it takes 5 minutes for me to get into the water, piece by piece of me.
I guess you were tired of looking at his lump.
No, I swam hard. I was sprinting. I ran over the hypochondriacs and geriatrics to populate the slow lane, you know. I'm really swimming in earnest trying to block out the bad news, but it doesn't work.
Of course not.
I see Samantha's in black. She's left alone with her young child. I try to comfort her, but what can I say? I swim even more frantically, you know, I'm like a whale or something. My arms are flailing, the water's surging all around me.
Nothing conclusive happened.
Oh, Peter, please be all right. Please, please, let Friday come and be all right.
Oh, calm down, sweetheart. It is all right.
Nothing's all right. I can't stand this life.
Come on, sweetheart.
No! After swimming, I went back to the office. I was in a state of shock, and then I jerked off into the cup just like that. Just like I jumped into the cold water, just like that.
And you took the specimen to the lab?
I took it to the lab.
Oh, congratulations!
I'd rather not know, and now I'll
Oh,
know.
your sperm is fine.
I'm a sick man.
Oh.
I always have been, and I always will
I
be.
never have thought to make such a wimpy pronouncement sound macho.
Now it will be proved it's me.
It's you. There are a variety of treatments.
Do you really think Pete's okay?
I really do.
Why?
My gut feeling.
Oh.
Oh, no, you don't want to become comforted and reassured. You want me to be overcome by anxiety, too.
That's preposterous.
Join you in your anxiety attack so that I'll no longer want a child. It's today's tactic to castrate me.
I just went in a bloody cup, a great act of love.
It's such an athletic picture of life that I'll no longer want a child.
Betty seems to feel the same way.
What are you worrying about now?
When I pick her up, she stops purring.
Just because you don't know how to hold her.
No, I can tell I'm making her anxious. Imagine the effect I'd have on our child.
Well, learn to control this bloody anxiety.
I've been anxious all my life. I was born this way.
For 5 minutes, you got it up. I'm really proud of you. Life's okay. Now let's have dinner.
I couldn't handle it if we had a healthy child. But the child was 10 minutes late coming home from school. Or if the child was on the verge of the possibility of choking, and in spite of the most sophisticated and vigilant treatment.
You'll cope. We'll cope together.
God damn it, you know I'm not a coper. I'm not like you, or Peter, or my father. The word cope makes me anxious because it implies there's something I should be panicking about.
Everybody has these fears. These fears are old as the
And
world.
what if we had a healthy baby, but you died delivering it?
Stop indulging your nonsense.
I'd have to send the baby to live with Jane. I'd come around from time to time, the doting uncle. I'd coo with pleasure and shower our baby with gifts, but I'd leave just before the baby had to be changed, or just before it started crying inconsolably, or just before its routine doctor's appointment. Oh, yeah. I'd be a great uncle to our child.
So I'm married to a man who's gonna condemn me to barrenness because the thought of new life increases his fear of death. You are a sadist with your fear.
Afterwards, in the shower, I said to Peter, if there's anything I can do, anything at all, I made all the right soothing sounds and I meant it. He's my friend. I want to help. I felt good about myself. At the same time, I wished I were 1,000 miles away on a freighter somewhere in the Indian Ocean.
You'd be seasick.
I want to take up jogging. I never want to meet Peter at the pool again.
Good.
Tomorrow, I'm going to call our lawyer and ask him to draw up a living will. When I'm dead, I want to be all dead. I don't want some corner of me hanging on overseeing the rest of me slipping into the ground. I'll have him draw up a living will for our putative child. How about you? Do you want one?
Good morning. The blood work looks fine, but the sperm count needs some work.
What does that mean?
It means that 18 per million is not going to get the job done.
What next?
I want you to repeat the test again. Here's another cup.
Do I have to be condemned 3 times?
Before I put you on Clomid, which stimulates the pituitary to produce semen, I want to make sure that the test results reflect where we are. Now, did you wait 2 days before masturbating?
2 days? I waited 10 days. I wanted every benefit of the doubt.
Well, that could be the problem right there.
How's that?
Well, the sperm can get funny after 10 days.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
It's all on the instructional sheet I gave you.
It said at least 2 days. Why don't you doctors make yourselves clear?
Do you often wear jockey shorts?
Why, do you like them?
Tight underwear can heat things up and act like a varicocele and lower your count. I want you to start wearing boxer shorts every day.
That wasn't on the instructional sheet.
Well, the last time you came, you were wearing boxer shorts, so I didn't anticipate a problem.
You just assumed that I constantly wear one type of underwear. Wasn't that presumptuous?
As it turned out,
You thought I was a boxer man on the slimmest of anecdotal evidence.
you're very entertaining. But I have other patients.
Hold on. As you jumped to a conclusion about my underwear and were nebulous about the number of days before masturbating, I have to repeat a test which has caused me a lot of mental anguish.
You can choose not to continue under my care. We're talking about something optional, not life-threatening. But honestly, Paul, I don't see what's so difficult for you about this. Do you have trouble ejaculating?
Into a cup, I find it hard to perform. It took me 2 hours before I...
2 hours? Paul, please make sure that you're rested and relaxed and that you ejaculate in a way which is normal for you. Which, I take it, is not after 2 hours.
How long is this going to go on before we have answers?
You're not going to be a worrywart, now are you?
Be a normal guy who sleepwalks vegetatively through life. A man who gets married, fathers children, divorces, marries again, has a second family. Divorces, has a third wife, a third family. What separates us is the difference between 18 and 60 per million. To be a normal man with a normal penis and normal sperm. Sperm that is plentiful with first-rate motility. Sperm that swims forwards, not backwards. Sperm with perfect heads and tails that negotiates its way up the vagina in full command of its power.
One other thing.
I'm waiting.
Do you use marijuana?
It's none of your business.
It's known to suppress sperm production.
I'm known to take a puff.
At the next party, how are drinking fed?
We'll trade a low sperm count for alcohol-induced impotence. Thanks a lot.
Don't talk yourself into anything.
At night, I'll come home, strip to my boxer shorts, have a martini, and after exactly 48 hours have passed, be unfaithful to my wife in this little green cup. Oh, stop!
Sometimes I look at a wall and see the molecules dancing. It looks like I have X-ray vision. What? I don't know if you know about those children. In China, those gifted children in China who have X-ray vision. I think I'm like that. It's like the wall is not solid. I can see the movement inside the atoms. My son had X-ray vision too. He died when he was 8 months old. He was a genius. When I looked at him in the crib, he raised his arm to greet me.
Yesterday I had a cup of tea with Molly. As usual, she began bragging about her husband. He's got a new book out. Then she went on and on about her fear of being raped downtown. It's another recurrent theme. It's beginning to sound more like a fantasy than a fear. Then she started to cry. She has to have a breast removed. Her youngest is going off to college, and her husband is having an affair with a graduate student. Molly's decided to get a divorce. Oh, she wants an old-fashioned, vindictive divorce, not the no-fault kind. She knows she'll probably spend the rest of her life alone. In 10 years, I'll be 50 like Molly. My bad temper may have turned into a serious personality disorder. I'll certainly have lines that scar my face and cellulite that undermines my thighs. And if Paul becomes successful and cocky, not underachieving and insecure, won't he want to get into the pants of some ultra-fertile 20-year-old who, with the dedication of a special education teacher, will take his feeble sperm and bring out its special potential? Then I'm in Molly's position. Either I lose my pride or I abort my marriage. Paul is taking Clomid to boost his sperm count. It's worked. His last semen analysis 3 months ago puts him right in the middle of the bell curve. But I'm still not pregnant.
Well, you seem to be ovulating normally according to this biopsy.
It's good to know that there's not something cold about my body.
I'm going to put you on Clomid too to boost your hormone levels. You seem a little low.
What are my chances?
I think they're excellent now that your husband's sperm count has significantly improved.
If I do get pregnant, will I have a normal baby?
As you know, Julia, the likelihood of Down syndrome or other fetal abnormalities increases only 5% after the age of 37.
Yeah, but if it happens to me...
Well, immunocentesis can detect most fetal abnormalities early enough in the pregnancy.
But not all.
Of course not all. You may choose to abort if the deformity was of such magnitude that your child could not expect to enjoy any quality of life. I know that abortion would not be an easy decision.
Oh, no, you're wrong. No, I would choose to abort if every hair on its head wasn't perfectly combed.
Isn't that a pretty high standard?
You know, I am still confused as to whether schizophrenia is an inherited condition.
As I've told you repeatedly before, while there does seem to be a genetic component, the literature is filled with studies of identical twins where one twin is schizophrenic and the other twin is perfectly normal.
And amniocentesis is of no help here.
I be assured that while there is statistically a greater risk for you to have a schizophrenic child than, say, somebody who has no schizophrenia in their family, this is not something like Huntington's, where I would counsel a known carrier to think very seriously before bringing a baby to term.
So I've got to live with some uncertainty.
Yes.
You know, Father says that a sick child will destroy my marriage. Is it possible that this message has gone right to my ovaries?
Oh, come on, Julia. Don't start that again.
When he was 2 years old, Thomas already had hallucinations. The Hick doctors said his brain was too big for his skull, that there was nothing they could do for him. This was the sticks, what did they know? My father was not an educated man, and my mother was dead. He didn't know how to handle a son who didn't live up to his standards.
But me father was like a monster, a giant monster. He would yell at me and shout at me and say, "Thomas, you're stupid, you're retarded or something." You'll never amount to anything in your life. One day I threw pebbles in the swimming pool. When he came back from work, Dad called for me. "Thomas! Thomas! Come over here. Did you throw those rocks in the swimming pool?" He hates when people lie to him. I threw those pebbles in the pool, Dad. Being honest, telling the truth. I thought he'd say, all right, forget about it. Instead, he says, "Come over here, Thomas." And he takes off his belt to beat the shit out of me. I split fast, I'm telling you.
I felt bad for you, Thomas.
I didn't feel bad for you, Julia. Your life was paradise. Sometimes you would do something wrong. Dad would punish me instead. He would take you for walks. He would never take me along. Makes me sad. Think in my mind. If he doesn't want me for a friend, I don't want him for a friend either. So I started considering Father a stranger in my head. You told him that I was using a slingshot and I was beaten. I felt like strangling my own sister.
I'm sorry. I was a child. I wanted to please Father.
I felt like a low creature on the planet. Didn't feel any affection from my sister. We were in competition for Father's love. I felt like chopping your head off. Father tried to brainwash you and put ideas into your head so you would be just like him. To me, life was a nightmare because no one gave me any affection.
It's amazing you survived.
Yes, and that I don't have psychological problems or something. I go up to my room after he yelled at me. Look at myself in the mirror and say, "Thomas, you're not stupid. You're a genius. You know, I can astral project maybe 2 or 3 days in a row. It's a wonderful feeling. I feel light. It's a feather. It's like driving a spaceship. Total control. I've been to a different dimension, and there was a weird architecture. It was all gray, a different architecture to the one we know, and the people were all grayish. Their faces were gray, and they were tall, like giants. I started to communicate with one of these creatures, but he became aggressive. He started to push me. He wanted to be violent, so I kicked the hell out of him with karate, and I kicked him to a ditch. When I was 12 years old, my father tried to slap me. "You're fresh," he said. And then he tried to slap me. And at that moment, I had a vision. I saw a hand coming towards my face before it actually happened, and I stopped his hand midway. I blocked it. Afterwards, in 1968, when I was 18 and I started karate training, when I fought with all the guys, I could read their minds. Before their actual gestures, before they could hit me, I could read their minds. And I knew beforehand what they were going to do, and I could block or dodge it.
Don't you have any happy memories of childhood?
I don't have any happy memories of childhood because I was so skinny, all the kids in school made fun of me. I had more fun in the woods looking at the birds and shooting at the squirrels. I would chase the maid around the yard and she would say, "Thomas, don't shoot me." Fortunately, I never hit her. My worst memory in childhood was one day I gave my sister my bow and arrow and she shot it at me. If my cousin Ben hadn't pushed me to one side, it would have hit me and I'd be dead. Now, those arrows could really kill someone.
Sometimes I hate Thomas. I can't stand his jealousy. I understand why Father was driven to rage by all his imbecile remarks. I mean, he's not an educated man. He doesn't understand something intangible like mental illness. I do understand, and I don't think I can handle this. You know, Father seems to almost relish his impending death when I'll become Thomas's legal guardian and have to put up with what he's had to put up with. God, I am sick and tired of other people's children. I want my own child. What if it's like Thomas? Then there'll be 2 of them in the house.
Certainly make for a lot of astral traveling.
And unbelievable unhappiness. Their unhappiness and ours. Look at Father. Thomas made Father absolutely miserable.
Oh, your father would have been miserable if Thomas had grown up to be a nuclear physicist.
Thomas thinks I'm a tyrant like Father.
Will our child quake in your presence like your husband?
Oh, why did you marry such a mess?
Because I love you.
You wait until I have a sick child.
It's not love.
No, you should never have married a woman in her mid-30s who was already hormonally drying up, whose baby runs the risk of being deformed or depraved.
You're my sweetheart.
Oh, yeah, and there are so many young beauties running around.
You've given me a life, a purpose.
No, you used to believe those cliches. Now the romantic period of our marriage is over.
Who says it's over?
Now I'm not everything to you anymore. I've not even been a good beginning.
I feel romantic towards you right now. I feel like making love.
God, now that I'm horribly depressed, you're turned on? God, when I'm ovulating and excited, you could barely get it up. You are perverse.
Come on, honey.
No, these days you only touch me when you want to fuck me. God, and you are always so clumsy. You know, after 3 years of marriage, you still fumble around trying to find my clitoris. Don't you think it's time you mastered the anatomical intricacies of my body? It's not sexy to be mishandled.
What isn't sexy is the way you laugh hysterically when we begin to make love.
You know it's hard to keep an erection when faced with waves of nervous schoolgirl laughter? I feel like I should be shooting rubber bands across the classroom at a girl in pigtails, not making love!
This whole thing is stressing both of us.
I used to give you hope. When we first met, you held me close and you told me you loved me with all your heart. You told me that every night. You don't say that every night anymore. You don't say it at all.
It's not true.
Your heart has had a heart attack. My hands are old. I need a facelift. I'm ugly, I'm barren. And if I do get pregnant, it's Rosemary's baby. Oh, yuck. Your nose is running, your mustache is wet. Nobody has ever touched me right.
Did you know that I can sing Strangers in the Night in 15 different languages? Did you know that I can sing it in Japanese? Otutsuyakai nagoro nisam kagawakiem toshisayuku otutsuyakai.
When the sky is green, you never know how
We're
much.
3 outs away from never having a child.
But there's still hope. Tina answers the phone these days with such authority. Hello, Grandpa, she says, I miss you.
Wonderful.
Boy, oh boy, she's really something. And so's her baby brother, too.
You really are lucky.
When she puts her arms around you and snuggles, there's nothing else like it in the world. You want to hold Christopher?
3 outs away.
How's that?
You hear perfectly well when we talk about Tina and Christopher. But when it comes to our infertility, you seem to suffer from psychosomatic deafness.
What you want me to do? Stop getting pleasure out of the good things?
When I'm talking to you, I just want you to listen to me.
Do you feel you have the best doctors? I mean, if you need money to consult an out-of-town specialist. You know, just yesterday, I heard a beautiful story about Aunt Elizabeth's niece, who'd been trying for 14 years and finally became pregnant.
Beautiful story. See the one in the Inquirer about the 90-year-old nun who gave birth to twins?
Did you know that she had started to sing herself to sleep with lullabies I taught her?
You are so absorbed in cooing over Tina that you are absolutely indifferent to what's going on with Julia and me.
I think about you kids all the time.
Oh, you're a good man. Finest man I know. You exude warmth. You're known for your kindness and charity. But unconsciously, it seems to me that all you really care about are your grandchildren.
Don't quit shrink repeat.
You're right again. You're always right.
I am sick of this self-abnegating crap.
Hallelujah, you're listening to me.
Barney, stop this! God, how I love you and want things to work out for you.
What's it like?
What?
I've had at least 2.
No experience compares.
Tell me everything.
What do you want to know?
What was it like when Mom broke the news to you that she was pregnant with me?
Boy, oh boy.
Can you be more specific than boy, oh boy?
I knew something was up. Wasn't your mother's style to greet me at the door with a kiss?
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, we've been trying for quite a while, but somehow I knew everything would work out in the end. And it did.
Lucky son of a bitch.
Looking back, I do think I've been pretty lucky. Been happily married, enjoyed my work, had beautiful children, a beautiful granddaughter, and now Christopher.
So how did it feel to be an expectant father?
Well, you feel your horizon widen. You worry a little less about your own death.
You felt no ambivalence or fear?
Both your mother and I always had faith in each other, and in you kids.
So how did it feel when Mom started getting big?
I had a special lightness in my step each time Mom was pregnant. It was the happiest time of my life. Why are you asking all these questions? What's up?
I want to find out what I'm missing out on.
There is still hope. Why not look at the cup half full, not half empty? You have got a wonderful, loving, and beautiful wife. You're
Did
not...
you go to pregnancy classes with Mom? Breathe with her? And when she went into labor, help her with her contractions?
That's not something we had then. But boy, oh boy, when I went in there and held you for the first time, boy, oh boy.
Did you have a name picked out in advance?
We wanted a Polly, and that's what we got.
You preferred a boy?
Ah, we wanted a boy, we wanted a girl. We just wanted everything to be fine. And you were perfect. You were a beautiful baby. You're a fine man. Who needs a break? I love you. Boy, oh boy, do I love you. I don't know if I've been any good answering your questions.
Thank you. You're answering my questions. I'm sorry I got you upset.
You kids have meant everything to me. Try to be a good sport. Try to be there when you needed me.
Yeah.
All my life, I've had the ability to block out unpleasantness. I don't know if that makes me a stupid man.
You know, when I was little, I used to think Uncle Al and Aunt Martha were freaks because they didn't have children.
Yeah, they weren't happy about that. But they made the most out of what they had.
Not having children was like being deformed or retarded or losing an arm.
I know that adoption has been a very happy alternative for many people.
That wouldn't be the same.
Well, of course it wouldn't be the same, but it could be just as good.
Not for us.
I just wish I could help.
I'd like to have been you and your life. Enjoy your memories.
You are saying some pretty sad things tonight. You'll get a break. I know you'll get a break.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
So what did it feel like?
What?
When I took my first steps, ate my first solid food, spoke my first words, crawled the length of my first living room, had my first haircut, shot my first basket, raped my first fight, went to my first school dance.
Dr. Swan's decided to up the ante. I'm going to start Pergonal treatments. Guess who will be administering the drug at the beginning of my cycle?
Me?
You get to stick a hypodermic needle into my buttocks. Doesn't that sound fun? Every day for 5 days. Oh, you alternate buttocks. Here, go practice on this.
What about side effects?
But apart from your anxiety and the astronomical expense, multiple births. A woman on Pergonal may produce up to 6 eggs each cycle.
And I'm going to have to inject you?
There is something else. Dr. Swan suspects a blockage and wants to try artificial insemination. On the day I ovulate, you masturbate into this cup and you bring it to the hospital by 8 a.m.
I finally get used to doing it in a blue cup, and now I have to do it in a green cup.
Artificial insemination is great. It's almost 100% effective in turkeys. I'd love to watch those turkey mamas masturbate their turkeys, wouldn't you? Maybe if you let me watch you, I wouldn't be so curious.
What else?
Well, the first time you bring in a specimen, it's $100. Additional couples, $40.
Why so expensive the first
Because
go?
they gotta test your sperm for VD, chlamydia, HIV.
Shit!
Oh, yeah, I've given you a lot of bad news. You're entitled to be angry.
You know, when I was 27, I went to a prostitute.
Most boys do it when they're 17. You're a late bloomer
This is
and
not one of
everything.
my run-of-the-mill anxieties.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
Well, it's not fair to start a story and not finish it.
I was stopped at a light on Case Street. This girl came up to my car, asked me if I wanted a BJ. I was honored. No girl had ever come up to my car before.
I want a blow-by-blow account.
She got into my car. Her name was Lola. We drove to a quiet street. We parked. She sucked, licked, tickled, and massaged for maybe 20 minutes.
And of course you couldn't get it up, because you could never get it up the first time with a new partner.
I paid her $10. She was really very nice. She offered me a gift certificate for a free BJ when I felt strong. And I got out of the front seat. Bruce got into the front seat next to me.
Bruce, they
It was
threw up here.
cold outside. I was freezing to death. After a couple of seconds, the front door opened. She was spitting out his cum.
I'd love to do it when you're in a car.
2 years later, I read about Lola in the papers. She was the first prostitute in the city to die of AIDS.
You asshole! You never told me. But I forgive you. Everybody knows that AIDS is not transmitted by saliva.
Not 12 years ago they didn't.
My poor baby. You finally get out the nerve to live out the oldest adolescent fantasy, and you run into the late 20th century's worst nightmare.
This isn't funny!
I feel very sorry for Lola, but not for you.
What if I have AIDS?
You know perfectly well you don't have AIDS, and you're not going to get it when they test you for it.
What if I'm the first confirmed case of saliva transmission?
You'll be famous. And you'll die.
Well, what if they mix up the specimens and put someone else's sperm inside?
That is not going to happen. This is an excellent hospital.
Things like this happen all the time in excellent hospitals.
Yeah, but nothing has happened.
I feel so much pressure.
I do, too.
I'll have some frozen. So if I can't get it up the big morning, I'll have some backup sex cells standing by.
I already thought of that. No, Dr. Swan says it's much better fresh. Oh, God, stop picking at your hair. Stop taking your pulse.
Who wouldn't want to fuck this bright, cheerful cup?
It's 6 a.m., Thursday. Julia reaches for her ovulation thermometer, fumbles with it sleepily. I think she's on the verge of her temperature climbing into the fertile zone. I wait and wait, listening for the clink of glass against teeth as she removes the thermometer from her mouth. I wait for her to say something peremptory like, "Get up, today's the day." But she says nothing, which I interpret hopefully as a signal I can go back to sleep. I hug her, thankful that I don't have to get out of bed. Maybe she won't ovulate at all this month. 40-year-old women don't ovulate every month. Then I will have 25 days of peace before the next window of opportunity opens up. What is it? What are you doing? No, don't get me started. You know, my sperm needs 48 hours of rest to reach full potency. And what if you ovulate tomorrow? Then what? Julia says, "Can I just touch?" I don't want to get excited, which is easy since I'm not on the spot. So I get out of bed. I go outside and look in the bushes for my Times. I sip a cup of tea and turn first, as I always do, to the obituaries. John Wilcox, dead of cardiac arrest. He was 79 years old, etc., etc. I skip. He is survived by 2 daughters and a son. I read on, looking for members of my peer group. Dirk Rogers, survived by wife Lavinia, daughter Kate, and son Dirk Jr. Jim Beckwith, banker. Survivors include a daughter, Mary. Well, only 1 daughter. This is closer to my ballpark. Jim looks like he almost experienced childlessness. And who knows, Mary could have been adopted. Last one, Bernard O'Brien. All right. No survivors. No survivors. A man with no survivors is considered a human being. Human being important enough to have a Times obituary. For a moment, I'm happy. Maybe I can live with this burden after all. I look up to the first paragraph to find out a little bit more about him. Bernard was a priest. 6 a.m. Friday. The thermometer clinks out of her mouth. I wait. She pulls the blanket over her. No change. 6 a.m. Saturday. No change. 6 a.m. Sunday. No change. I guess this month, she's a dud. 6 a.m. Monday, she's ovulating. This is unbelievable. It's too many days into your cycle. I hate you for making me go through with this. I get out of bed noisily, aggressively pulling the blanket off of her. The house is cold. My dick is chilled. How am I going to get it up? I'll do it in the office where a cup is always waiting for me. I dress quickly and rush downtown. I have to be at the office, at the hospital within an hour to qualify. I lock the door and lie down on the floor. I study the papers, but the obituaries are full of children and grandchildren. I unzip my pants. I've got to do it on time. I look at my penis. It's not even the size of a worm. I work at it with a steady hand. Nothing. I've got 45 minutes. Come on, enlarge, extend. I go through the file of women I would have liked to screw. There's the dental hygienist with the red braid. She brings no rise. There's the Nordic theater type who is sadistic with me. Still, it comes up limp. I go back in time to the scene of my first high school romance, when out of shyness and fear I stop short of ejaculation. This time I go all the way, gloriously ending her virginity and mine. Still, it comes up limp. This negligible, ridiculous, increasingly sore penis. Not only does it not extend, it seems to shrink in on itself like an ingrown toenail. I zip up my pants. I call Julia. It's no use. I can't do it. I've wasted your ovulation. I'm so full of self-hatred I want to die. Don't hang up on me, honey. Honey, I'm so sorry. Honey, I'm going to throw myself off the roof. Honey, don't hang up on me. Don't. unzip my pants. I try the hygienist again. Do I feel a slight rise? Ah! If I do, the awareness makes it shrink again. I continue to stroke and cajole the shrunken skin as dead as something pickled in formaldehyde. I am beyond comfort. I am condemning Julia to barrenness and myself to a place of infinite loneliness. I wish I were dead. To Julia, this is a burlesque overstatement, but to me, I mean it. Help. Help me. Oh, God, what a ridiculous creature you have imposed upon the earth. I try an ugly, 60-year-old Italian neighbor. Someone I have never tried before. Perversity of this erotic fantasy arouses me. I clutch my penis in one hand, bring the cup closer in the other. It's coming! I'm coming! Ah! I look down. It's not on the couch. It's all in the cup! The green cup! A strong finish at 60 per million! A nice, convincing, viscous brew! Ah, I screw the cap back on. Oh, it's still uncomfortable to zip up over my swollen and still sensitive penis. I tuck the cup into my armpit. I call Julie to get ready. I check my watch. 15 minutes. Plenty of time. My other arm shoots in the air like a basketball player has just scored 2 points at the buzzer in double overtime. Ha! I walk past my just arrived secretary. Morning, my arm glued to my side. I think I must look odd like a stroke victim, but she says nothing. I rush to the hospital. I'm there! I'm lost. Oh, hello. The infertility clinic? I follow the yellow line that runs down the middle of the hallway toward C, then left along the blue line toward E, then left again along the yellow line toward B. Time is running out. Is my sperm losing its limited vibrancy? I'm lost! Oh, hello again. The, infertility... Oh, I double back along the yellow line, then turn around along the green line toward G. I tuck my future into my armpit like a football. I break it to a gallop. I'm there! The end of a long line. I look at the men standing in front of me. Sort of furtive glances men shoot at each other in urinals. Wonder about their case histories. Like me, they look like guilty, indicted men waiting to be booked. Your name, sir, your hospital identification card? Yes, but don't you want to take my sperm immediately into protective custody? We can do the paperwork later. I'm sure there's no heat left in my armpit. The nurse looks at me impatiently, but I don't care. Come on! Protect it from the drafts. After all I've been through, I don't want my sperm to catch a chill. She sticks a label with my name on it. I rub my hand over it to make sure it sticks. I take one last look at my sperm. It no longer looks viscous, but thin and liquefied. That's it. That's all. I can go. The rest is up to Julia. I back out down the green line. Hello, little Betty. Hello, little Betty. Hey, you know, it's really cute the way she comes to the door to greet me as soon as I get home. Hello, little Betty. Hello, little Betty.
I'm sick of hearing hello, little Betty all day long. You never notice me. You never touch me anymore.
You made love last night, for Christ's sake.
Also, because I was caressed last night, I can expect nothing today or for the next week. Anyway, last night was a threesome.
It was not a threesome. Betty only watched.
It upset me.
She was a very polite viewer. She purred in all the right places.
No, I couldn't concentrate. It was just too kinky for me.
Well, why don't we look at it from the point of view of Betty's education? I mean, in a couple of months, she'll be a frisky, young, promiscuous adult. Don't we have the responsibility of providing her with the rudiments of a sexual education?
Sexual education for a cat you will never let out of the house.
Well, maybe I've been too strict to Daddy.
I know it would make her very happy to have kittens.
Yeah, and then we'd have to find homes for the kittens or have them exterminated.
I think it would be a terrible deprivation to have her spayed before letting her have one litter. I don't want her to be barren, too.
We don't even know if she's fertile.
Paul.
If she is, I don't think I could stand it. Certainly couldn't go through this business again. And even if she's fertile, who's to say the old tabby with the crooked tooth next door is energetic little spermies?
Well, there are other males in the neighborhood. When she's in heat, they'll come out of the woodwork.
Oh, do you have anyone particular in mind?
No.
Yeah, well, I don't want her walking the street. She could pick up feline syphilis or leukemia or some other cat virus.
I think Betty should be allowed to make up her own mind about who she's going to fuck with.
I think I'd rather have her spayed.
You know what worries me is if one of the kittens is born deformed or retarded and needs special care. I just know myself well enough to know I couldn't hack that. Don't think you could either. A mongoloid cat with a giant head. Or one that doesn't meow but barks like a dog. Or one that can't control its bladder and needs sanitary napkins, like your grandmother. I don't think you or I are up for that.
Aren't you being a little paranoid?
In the back of my car, there's a baby stroller that my brother-in-law gave me. He says it's too small for them, a big smile, a broad hint. It's folded and closed and will never come to life again.
Hello, little Betty.
If you were a king, you could repudiate your barren queens.
We've only tried the Pergonal 4 months.
Maybe the Muslims have the right idea, letting the man have more than one wife.
I love you.
My parents knew a childless couple. Eventually, they got divorced. The man remarried, and he had 3 children after he was 50 years old. He was very happy. Perhaps the best thing I could do is to leave you.
Oh, come on.
Now, if I stay someday, you'll hate me.
We'll get custody of Betty.
I always wanted a little creature with a big nose just like you. I was holding out. But it's over. I'm dealing with the finality of it. I'm the end of the lineage. I'll always be stuck in myself, and you'll always be stuck in your crazy self.
There's no point in still trying the Pergonal?
I've got an appointment with Dr. Swan to discuss the possibility of a test tube baby.
What are the odds? How does it work?
We'll find out.
When do we begin?